Welcome to the Global WarWatch Network. We're really glad you're joining us. Before we begin, if you find this analysis valuable, please just take a moment to subscribe to our channel. It helps us a lot. Today we are witnessing a really strange strategic paradox. The most cutting-edge stealth technology is actually outpacing human endurance. And what that means is you have these billion-dollar hulls, these incredible submarines, just docked because they don't have crews. This whole personnel crisis, it's threatening to completely neutralize technological superiority, and that could fundamentally shift the entire global undersea balance of power. Okay, let's get into this. Right. We're going to start with that core contradiction. The most advanced navies in the world are building the absolute best submarines, but they're seriously struggling to find the people to actually operate them. And look, that's not just some analyst's opinion. That is a direct warning, straight from the top of the U.S. Navy. The problem isn't just about the numbers. They're calling it an existential threat to their naval power. And this threat, it really starts with the human element. The strain on the workforce that's already there is creating this really dangerous burnout loop. And the scale of this problem is just immense. As you can see here, the U.S. Navy is projecting a shortfall of around 23,000 sailors by 2025. Ben, that is a huge number. What does a gap like that actually mean for the fleet? Well, Alex, it has a direct and immediate impact on readiness. That personnel gap is a huge reason why, as this slide shows, roughly 1/3 of the entire U.S. attack submarine fleet is often non-deployable at any given time. They're just stuck in port, waiting for maintenance, or crucially, for a crew. And the knock-on effect for the sailors who are deployed is just brutal. It forces the crews that are left into these grueling, record-breaking patrols. I mean, we're talking about missions that last over 200 days straight, completely submerged and totally cut off from the world. That level of strain is it's unprecedented and it's unsustainable. And this, right here, this gets to the absolute core of the human challenge. As you can see on this slide, navies select for these elite traits like grit and resilience, but then they place those very same sailors into an environment of extreme isolation and monotony, completely disconnected from the modern world. Exactly. And for a generation of digital natives, people who grew up online, this total lack of connectivity is a major, major deterrent. It creates what experts are now calling a connectivity morale gap, where that fear of missing out and just being disconnected, it actively damages retention. But the personnel crisis is only one part of this story. It's actually converging with a massive industrial crisis that has left the West's shipbuilding foundation incredibly fragile. A perfect and, frankly, painful example is the submarine USS Boise. It's been out of service for over a decade now, basically becoming a billion-dollar paperweight. And this isn't some isolated case, it's really a symptom of a systemic maintenance backlog. And that backlog is literally everywhere. The new Virginia-class submarines, years behind schedule. The number of critical suppliers has just collapsed. The UK's fleet is facing very similar readiness issues. So the crucial point here is the industrial base can't build new boats fast enough or even maintain the old ones. And you have to remember, this domestic crisis, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. While the West is struggling to build and maintain its fleet, its primary strategic competitor is doing the exact opposite. And this chart, wow, it reveals a startling reality. Between 2021 and 2025, for the first time ever, China actually launched more nuclear-powered submarines than the United States did, right? And they've hit a critical production rate that the U.S. has really only aspired to, launching 1 ballistic missile submarine and 2 advanced attack submarines every single year. And they managed to do this by massively expanding their shipyards. So the big question is, how can they do this? The answer really is industrial scale. China has a reported 230 times the shipbuilding capacity of the U.S., and they're leveraging their massive commercial industry to support their naval ambitions. This gives them a vast and resilient base that the West, right now, just cannot match. So, what does all this mean for the future of undersea power? Well, the old assumptions are definitely being challenged. It means that technological superiority is basically irrelevant if you don't have enough deployable submarines. The strategic advantage is shifting. It's no longer about who has the quietest, most advanced boats. It's about who can actually get them to sea and keep them there. And all of this leaves us with a final and pretty provocative thought. It really forces us to ask a new question about the future of global power. Thank you for joining us on the Global WarWatch Network. If this analysis was helpful for you, please like, share, and subscribe. It makes a huge difference. We'd love to know what you think, so let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And you can join our community on social media. All the links are in the description below. We'll see you next time.